Hello, 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 ladies and gentlemen. Tonight we have a wonderful NLC Division 3 evening ahead of us. It's Karolinerna up against Lundqvist Darkside. I am Basic, joined by head coach from Lightside, Accept.
Hello, hello.
For game number 1, we will have Darkside on the red side. Karolinerna blue, banning away Caitlyn first. So there was a new patch quite recently, Accept. Is there anything that you think got stronger in that one, or anything that was previously ban-worthy that's now less of a priority?
Well, I mean, most farming junglers in general got buffed, while the ganking junglers kind of got nerfed, right? With all the jungle changes, so that's one thing, right? So, for example, the Sejuani, the Maokai, these kind of picks might not have as much priority as they did before, the Vi as well. And one champion that got really buffed, at least I think, is Rumble, but no one seems to be playing this champion, so...
Yeah, maybe we'll see it today. Yeah, it got buffed a bit.
Yeah, who knows?
Magic pen on E, right?
Yeah, I mean, quite a lot as well. And I mean, any free magic pen on Rumble is usually pretty good since he has such high base damages.
Well, the bans have come in. It's gonna be the Caitlyn, Jarvan, Lulu for Karolinerna, Darkside banning away the Wukong, Sylas, Syndra, and Karolinerna insta-lock the Sejuani into the Saya Rakan for Darkside. And you just said, has Björn been playing Saya in solo queue?
I mean, that's what I heard at least. One rumor has been saying that at least, and I mean, you obviously climbed quite a lot on it if that's the case.
Yes, indeed. He's now a challenger, apparently. Quite crazy. Oh, it's going to be the
truly
Thresh.
high elo.
Yeah, true. Thresh has been locked in for Karolinerna. And as they have locked in the Sejuani, we should expect to see melee solo lanes for Karolinerna. That's quite strong with that champion, unless it's Sejuani top lane. Except, do you think Sejuani top is still viable?
Maybe if you have a really good matchup for it, but I wouldn't recommend it generally.
I see.
I know some people play it, and I think it's good if you have like a jungler that really likes playing these carries, right? Viego or Belwef, etc. That really synergizes with the champion, but in general, probably not. Probably Sejuani mid is a bit stronger than even.
Yep. Did you see that Aurelion Sol just got locked in?
Yeah, I mean, crazy pick. We'll see. We'll see on this one. I mean, I'm assuming Karolinerna, as you said, will want to go for a melee champion. And they already have like the Thresh. They had the Kai'Sa, Sejuani. They kind of want to go in. So we'll see. We'll see if this Aurelion Sol really is gonna pay off for them, or if he's gonna struggle a bit into these melees and hard engage.
Yeah. I honestly don't really know what Aurelion Sol does. He like breathes fire and flies over walls, and he has an insanely big ulti, but yeah, we'll see. Do you know more about the champion maybe? Could you explain what it does?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really strong champion in the sense that once you get to like 2 items and start stacking up your passive a lot, you're gonna be really strong coming into the mid and late game stages of the game, but in the early game it's really weak. And if you pick these champions like, I mean, Joni we see banned, and it's probably maybe even the biggest counter to Aurelion Sol in general. These champions that can easily get on top of him and like CC him and then pretty much try to one-shot him is what he really struggles into.
So something like, well, I guess Karolinerna have already picked jungle, so Vi ban makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, the Vi could be one thing, right? And I mean, the thing is now with Aurelion Sol's W, right? Before it was the C, obviously the dash, but now you can't cancel it unless you have a hard CC. So in order to interrupt his, I mean, pretty much flying over the entire map while breathing air on you, you have to have some sort of hard CC, and usually the lockdown champions like Vi, like Nautilus, etc. work really well into this.
I see. And I would say then that Karolinerna are lacking a bit on that department as of right now. Would you not agree?
I mean, they have some CC. I mean, the Sejuani is probably the closest to some sort of reliable CC, but even then, it's not super reliable.
As for the bans, Darkside took away the Yone and Tristana, Karolinerna banned away the Vi and Zac, and Darkside picked the Maokai. I love casting that champion.
Yeah, you haven't done it enough,
Maokai.
I think.
Yeah.
We should pick it next official, for the main team, I think.
And the LeBlanc plus GP blind for Karolinerna. What is Morty going to be playing into the pirate? feel like Darkside are not really lacking AP, but
I was gonna say even, I mean, maybe even they have too much AP, you would argue, because right now it's the triple AP top side, kind of putting all the eggs in the Saya basket.
yeah, I mean, he did reach Challenger with it though, so
Yeah,
might work.
must come from something.
Yeah, true. We'll now get into the actual draft in just a second. We were supposed to have accept camera above mine, but didn't work out for some reason. It was like really delayed the video, so yeah.
Yeah, so everyone reports to Stream Ninjas for this.
Yeah. Oh. I think they banned the wrong champion.
GG.
I think they banned Saya or something. What? We can't start apparently, we just got told. Oh. Well. We're currently waiting for Karolinerna's caster to be ready, and then we'll, I mean, yes, start the draft. No, they already saw the draft.
Yeah, I mean, maybe the main issue is just that, I mean, I don't know, maybe it's not even in lobby, is what I'm thinking.
Oh yeah, that would be an issue. Well, except while we are waiting, actually now that you're not here, I can pull up the Div 3 standing, or Div 2 standings again. Boom. And Lightside currently top of the table, have locked top 3 with a victory against Invul. With a 2-0 victory against Invul next Thursday, we will guarantee first seed no matter what. How are your thoughts on the split so far?
I mean, it's going well, for sure. You can't really argue otherwise, right? I mean, first place is where you want to be. I mean, we have one match left, right? We'll see how that goes. I mean, I think everyone feels pretty confident. If we win that, we should be first place. Even if we win 2-1, we hopefully are first place anyways. This is Lundqvist that maybe could overtake us. But either way, I mean, right now we've pretty much beaten every team, right, except for Gorp. So if, like, I also said it, like, worst case, we play 2-1 and then we don't go first place. Oh, well, it is what it is, right? We still kind of proved that we're the best team, I think. And we don't really have to worry, I think. Just coming in with confidence, and then whatever place we get, as long as we keep on winning and keep on performing and also keep on improving, right? We should be doing well, right? And keeping on improving, I think, is really important as well. Can't really get too confident, right? Because any team right now that is in second place or gonna make it to the top 4 or whatever, they're all gonna be looking to beat us, right? So we really have to keep on improving and pushing ourselves, right? Because otherwise, other teams will start catching up, and we're not gonna be able to be so comfortable anyways.
Yeah. So for my case, I think the split has gone way better than I expected. Do you share the same feeling, or is this kind of what you expected coming into the split with these players?
I mean, I kind of said that the goal for the spring split is top 3. Not in regular season or anything, but mainly as an overall. With the goal being that for summer we would win, right? And then look to promote. And right now it looks like we're the best team in Div 2, and that's great, obviously. I mean, it's better than expected, right? I mean, I still think that with how much time we had improving before the split started, right, since we finished the roster so early, maybe in hindsight, maybe this is something we could have expected. But even then, I mean, you look at other teams that, right, like 4th Wall, for example, are supposed to be pretty strong. I mean, Venom Crest, Thunder, etc., right? And I mean, these are all teams that we have to respect, right? And then one of these teams randomly popping off is never impossible, right? And this is something we have to keep in mind. So us being in first place right now, really great. I mean, kind of expected it, maybe being at the top, but maybe not sole first place, pretty much. But either way, like, the goal has always been to look to win the entire thing, right? So
yeah. And another interesting question. Right now, Venomcrest haven't locked playoffs, but I mean, they pretty much have locked playoffs. So
I think they have, no.
Well, not mathematically. If they lose every single game, I think, yeah.
I see.
Or am I wrong here? Wait, have they locked playoffs? Okay, they have locked playoffs, let's say that. So there are 2 spots left that ESP, Fourth Wall, Anima, Monster, and right now 42 are fighting for. Which 2 teams do you think will make it through to playoffs?
I think ESP will miss out, to be honest. I mean, they have Venomcrest left, which, I mean, what I'm seeing at least, looks like the strongest team except for us. I think it's gonna be really hard for them to beat us, or beat them rather. Maybe they have improved a lot since we played against them. They obviously got their new ADC and a new coach on the day that we played them. So it's not impossible that they have improved a lot since then. And then, I mean, if they take 1 game of Venomcrest, for example, I mean, it's not impossible that they make it, but looking at it as well, Anima and Fourth Wall, they have matches where they should be able to win even comfortably, I would say. If any team is about to miss out, I would say it's Anima, if not Espergard. I think Fourth Wall should be able to win, and then even if they don't win, they have the head-to-head versus Anima, and also versus Espergard. So I find it unlikely that Fourth Wall misses out.
Yeah. All gonna come down to the last day, pretty much on Thursday. Right now, I know that Venomcrest are playing 42. It's probably streamed somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's. I think Venomcrest are streaming it themselves today.
Yep. And now getting back into this game, draft is now completed in the client as well. I know that you are a bit of a pirate enjoyer, so I'm gonna let you speak a bit about this top lane matchup for Gangplank versus Gragas.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting matchup, right? Because it's usually, I mean, you're realistically playing two kind of neutralizing champions versus each other, right? I mean, both of these champions would traditionally be seen as neutralizing champions, but lately on, it's kind of changed a bit. GP is more of a late game hyper carry now, more than before, and rather than being like this champion you just kind of blind pick and then take grasp on and then bully every lane opponent if you're good on him. And comparably, Gragas is a lot more of a bully nowadays, right? He builds a lot of HS, he sustains incredibly well, and it's really hard to move him out of lane. I would expect the GP to struggle in this lane and maybe even have to take grasp. If he goes first strike, he's probably gonna have to go a few CS down, but at the end of the day, really what it's gonna come down to is if Gragas can bully him out in the early game, and then if GP can make the value out of himself later on into the game, right? Because that's really where GP starts to shine, when he gets the 2 or 3 items and then can start blowing up these hyper carries like Aurelion Sol and Sia, right?
Yeah. And the jungle matchup, I can tell you about this one. I've seen it a bunch of times. Sampe should be taking first strike in this one, going demonic, probably Lianris as well, since Sejuani is quite tanky. Could go Radiant Virtue as well. But yeah, I have to say I know pretty much everything about Maokai at this point.
Yeah, I mean, been playing it a little bit in the main team, of course. A little bit being the keyword, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I expect him to go with the Radiant Virtue here this game. I mean, they have so much AP already. Don't think they need any more of it. I think generally Lianris is a very niche build that he built a few games nowadays.
I see. And actually maybe even, I mean, I guess if he's solo AP it's probably Lianris, but in this game it's pretty much only Sejuani and I guess Thresh that are a bit tanky. GP does get kinda tanky with the Immortal Shield Bow build, right?
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, right? But he doesn't really get tank in the sense of that he has a lot of HP. Obviously, the Mythic passive gives some HP. But in general, it's just a shield, right? A Maokai building Lianris or whatever, right? Versus a lifesteal item doesn't really do a lot anyways, you know?
True. Oh, so the mid lane matchup, we should expect Aurelion Sol to just want to scale, right?
Yes, for sure.
And LeBlanc maybe taking the Ignite, could go for some aggressive plays, the Assassin. And what about bot lane? Sia Rakan versus Kai'Sa Thresh, who has the edge in that one, you think?
Well, I mean, the Thresh is a very common pick, I would say, into the Rakan. You can cancel his W, you can kinda trade with him in range if you do it well. And then obviously fish for hooks. The Kai'Sa I would say is a bit more niche pick. We don't see it too often. It does make some sort of sense with the Sejuani on the team, right? But in general, I mean, I think if Darkside the bot lane plays this lane, I mean, pretty much like the better they play it, right, the better the lane gets, I would say. I think Karolinerna, their bot lane is for sure solid if they can end up hitting some hooks and playing for the 2v2 and with a lot of burst. They can for sure make some things happen. Otherwise, I would probably give the edge to Darkside.
Cool. Well, we're getting into loading screen. Karolinerna versus Darkside. Swedish derby. Gonna be a banger.
Always a banger when it's two Swedish teams.
You're oh so right. Okay, let me zoom out a bit. Turn on the cool objective timers that I've fixed now. And ladies and gentlemen, we are into game number 1. It is Lundqvist Darkside up against Karolinerna in NLC Division 3. Darkside pretty much I think they need to win this series in order to reach playoffs. So everything on the line for them today. And actually, Karolinerna have yet to lose a single series. They've dropped 2 games. They played 12 games, lost 2, but still undefeated in series.
30 seconds until minions.
But it would also be typically Darkside to beat the team in the top, I feel like, and then lose to the bottom teams.
Yeah.
Something really common about it, almost.
And Gangplank with the first strike in this one did not go grasp, and Morty on the Gragas elected to go for the base rush in this one, and so did Sampa on Mauke.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, I mean you can go face rush from Maoka. I don't think it's super bad. Kind of depends on what you want to do in the game. This game maybe, I don't know, maybe if it's like they have a lot of slows and unreliable CC, if he can dodge out on a lot of these with the face rush, he can make a lot of value out of it.
Oh, level 1 trade from the Darkside bot lane. Cybercount should be the ones winning this one. Nice grand entrance. Ignite comes down onto the Thresher, taking him quite low. Flash forced, and they will live, but Darkside get a really nice trade in this bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, here we see the strength of Rakan, right?
Yeah, the Saya double is hard. Rakan gets attack speed as well, right?
Yes. So the level 1, and I mean, even going forward, right? I mean, they're just gonna be able to both look to poke a lot with the Rakan Q, etc., right? Look for all-ins with the W, and then short trades, etc., right? This is a really strong bot lane pairing.
They've already burnt the health pot from the caster. She is running cookies, so she will at least not be hungry in lane. Nice trade from Tomasco in mid lane. Running TP on the LeBlanc, so missing out on a bit of the early pressure you get from the Ignite. Oh, actually Morty is kinda low top lane. Started with a tier as well. I mean, you can get away with that in some matchups, but maybe this one is a bit dicey for that.
Yeah, he's gonna require a few levels here, I think, in order to really sustain the GP poke. I mean, GP started the barrels in this one, that can deal a lot of damage, so... It's gonna take him a while to sustain up the HP, but he's already back up there.
Yeah. Oh, once again, Thomas Crew has electrocuted up, goes for a nice trade. AV is even in farm though, but he has had to trade his HP bar for it. Sejani now going for a gank here. Sejani and Whistle didn't know, but now the Sejani is quite low. Like Darkside could have engaged the hook, comes down, hits onto Björn, heal is forced out. Sampa is here, flash out from Björn, and he will survive for now, but flash in from the Kaiser. That's going to be first blood for Karolinerna, and they look for even more. Sampa now in the middle of 3 members, flashes out, and he will live. Oh, I thought Darkside could win that, but apparently not.
I mean, maybe if they sync up their abilities a bit better. It didn't really feel clear what they wanted to do, right? Saya using the W really early on, and then Rakan kind of turning on later, with Maokai also being even later to the party.
Oh, GP started the longsword. Is Corruption Pot just dead now, or?
No, you can for sure go with the problem right now, kind of with GP and going Corrupting Potion, is that you would mainly use it in order to poke out your opponent and like really assertive, like assert dominance in the lane, right? Is pretty much the idea, right? This is not really how you play GP anymore. Like right now, you kind of usually would end up taking the first strike. Obviously, you can go the grasp. I don't think it's bad at all. But a lot of people end up taking the first strike, as I said, and they start the barrel instead of the Q. And this way they still have the poke, but instead of having to use, I don't know, maybe 200 mana level 1, they use 0. And this way, I mean, they can still kinda generate a lot of gold and some lane pressure in the early game, but still getting to scale, right? And I mean, the first strike, if he has the futures market as well, which he does in this game, he has the cookies instead. And then also the longsword start, it means that SS Reaver becomes a really cheap item, and if enemy decides to go for Ninja Tabis early on, which a lot of people do, and then their component and Gangplank will already have finished his first item by the time that they get, I mean, in this case it would be the catalyst, right, for the Gragas.
Yeah. Stamper looking for a gank mid lane. No flash available, so he gets twisted around onto the LeBlanc though, but Bash is here for the counter gank. Stamper will be forced to run away. He does have the base rush, so he does get out. Okay, he's still completely even in CS mid, and I mean he's doing fine.
Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, right? I mean, he has ended up having to trade a lot of his HP, right, in order to perform, but he also has done it well in a sense where he uses a lot of this HP to make sure that he can get the recalls that are needed, right? So he doesn't like trade and then get stuck. Rather, he trades, make sure that he can get back, and then he always tries to be aware of when he has to nuke the wave in order to get a reset off.
Yeah, actually there was quite a big wave, so LeBlanc is ahead a bit, but yeah, Aurelion definitely not far behind. Oh, could be after this though, because Sejuani is mid once again. Stun is gonna come down, and Thomas Gu gets a kill on the KVW. That should mean first Drake to K5. Who have started up, it's the Ocean Drake.
Yeah, and I mean, this dragon should, most of the time I would argue, go to K5. The LeBlanc pressure from mid lane.
Wait, but Stamp is so low. Darkside still tried to go for it though, but Drake goes over to K5.
Yeah, a bit of a risk there, but ends up leading to nothing.
Now, oh, flash in from Mort. He goes for the bomba, misses ultimate though. That's probably gonna be solo kills for Cobb, and then is indeed
He's been watching Butch a bit too much then, Jesus.
He went for the highlight play, didn't work out. Karolinerna now 3 kills to none.
Yeah, and I mean, as we can see here, GP already on all of his components now for SS Reaver. He just needs the, whatever it is, 400 gold, I think.
400, yeah.
Yeah, so he's soon gonna be completing that, and then we're gonna start to see him really start to roll, right?
Yeah. So close for Morty on that one. I think if he ulted a bit earlier, he probably gets it. Because GP was able to flash before the ult came down.
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing is I almost think that the GP flashed and then he ulted at like kind of the same time, you know?
Yeah.
So the initial part, it looked like he was really being patient and waiting because he understood that GP had to flash out, right? But then he ended up throwing the ult anyways.
Stamp in trouble, dodges out on the Sejuani Q, but is still gonna die though. Another one for Bash. Would have been optimal to get that kill on LeBlanc, of course, but regardless, Stamper will fall, and they claim the red buff. Now looking for Drifter as well. Engage bot lane, but not too much out of that. Björn is level 6 actually, and the Gangplank ultimate comes down and didn't even really hit Darkside. Now the Ignite onto the side, who has the Featherstorm available still. Heal as well. Oh, but what the hook! Kills her!
Wow, what a hook.
Yeah,
and I mean, don't think Björn expected that. He has everything up.
Yeah, he's maxing hook.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's a very common. I mean, it's a bit, what do you call it? You can choose kind of what you want of max on Fresh nowadays, right? I mean, they tried to change it up a few patches ago with the buffs on him to make it Q max again. And I mean, especially in this matchup, right, where your win con really is to look for these hooks and look for these picks, because you kind of lose the short trades otherwise, and you lose the all-ins really, right? So maxing the hook in order to make sure that you have it more often makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and clearly it deals more damage as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Ah wow, it was like on the edge of even hitting, and it just kills him. Darkside have found themselves between the outer and inner tower, maybe looking for the Kai'Sa here. They engage with the quickness from the Sai, or the Rakan rather. They have not found lethal damage. Can they do so? Featherstorm comes out, still haven't found the kill. Bjarnen gets it, but he's gonna go down to the tower. Had flash heal, I think he maybe could have gotten out there. And Thresh is gonna end up with a double kill. Oh no.
Yeah, I mean, really creative play, right? But then almost kind of looked like they got lost in the sauce, right, while they were cooking. So
Yeah. Oh, Sejuani ultimate comes down to Sampe, who takes so much damage, has flash, but is just running down right now. But there is a Thresh here, he's gonna hit another hook, gets the flay, Sampe flash, but he's just dead anyway. Sejuani gets that one.
yeah, and I mean, the entire map is crumbling right now for Darkside.
Yeah. 10 minutes in, or 11 minutes, 4,000 goal lead for Karolinerna. Darkside did at least pick up their first kill with that bot lane dive, but they lost a lot.
Yeah, and I mean, Bash here really proving why they ended up first picking the Sejuani, proving her worth, and really making the most out of this pick.
Yeah, for sure. 3-0 and 1 has picked up the Radiant Virtue, now just picked up the Lucidity boots as well. Pretty strong on this tank. Second Drake is about to spawn. It's gonna be the Infernal, and I would assume that Karolinerna have full priority over this one. There should be no contest from Darkside whatsoever. AV should not be too far away from his Rod of Ages right now. Oh, never mind. Hitting a 400 gold. Needs what, 1,000 total to complete it, I think. The blasting
Yeah,
one
something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's what is it? 850, I think, when you finish the
Oh, is it that much?
blasting one. So maybe, oh, I'm not sure if it's that much. Maybe it's a bit less. 650, maybe it is actually.
Sampe looking to contest this Drake. Bjarnen and Swizzle are here, but Sampe will fall before anything really happens, and that should just be Drake going over to Karolinerna. Not sure why he wanted to contest that one.
Yeah, I mean, it's really important now for Darkside to try to slow down this game by trying to get back on track. Look for the small advantages you have, right? I mean, right now you look at CS, right? And I mean, even in the bot lane, right? They have something to play for if they really try to split the map, you know, like play for whatever you can, right? And instead of trying to handshake these fair trades, right?
In the bot lane, Swizzle and Bjarnen are gonna be in some trouble. They have everything up there. They have to look to fight here. Can they get onto the guys that did a lot of damage, but they don't find lethal damage? Bjarnen gonna get stunned up. Had already flash, heal is available, don't think he will use it though. They will just fall here, and they will not get a single kill. Bash gets the first one. It's probably gonna be Kai'Sa getting the second one. This indeed. 11-1 in kills in favor of K5.
Yeah, I mean, K5 is really dominating the game right now.
Yeah, just shutting down Darkside pretty much across the board. Top lane and mid lane for Darkside are pretty fine. Morty with a bit of a mishap in the 1v1 earlier, but still kind of even in farm. Mid lane, the CS speed has grown quite a bit after the kill onto KV. Still behind like 30 farm in this mid lane.
Yeah, this Thomas Gohan one is almost signature champions, right? Really bullying out Aurelion Soul here in the
Yeah, I
mid lane.
mean, we've seen him hit chain after chain. I would have to assume his favorite rapper is 2 Chainz.
Yeah, most likely. Oh, or maybe not. The caster curse.
Yeah, indeed. I think he tried to like bend it behind the minion, but it didn't work out.
Yeah. Bro thought it was Beckham, but it did not work out.
Yeah. And Beckham has retired, so maybe he's Beckham.
Yeah, maybe. Look at them.
This Gangplank is gonna become a monster, I feel like. He's just free scaling 140 CS at 14 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you look at...
Oh,
okay.
Sampa in
Hold
trouble,
on a
he
minute.
gets hooked and he's just gonna get taken down once again. Eventually. Gonna be Thomas Go getting that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you look at Darkside comp as well, you can see that, I mean, who's gonna auto-attack these barrels from the GP, you know?
Yeah.
They're really gonna be... He can almost place them in their face and just blow them up straight up.
Darkside, I think they will get this. Oh, they won't. Because of the GP ultimate. Or will they get the tower? It's a bounty. They really want it. And they will indeed find the bounty. Chain comes down to KV mid lane. He's rooted. Hook is probably gonna come down here. Yeah, that's the ultimate use from Aurelian Sword. He's gonna go down to Moscow now on the killing spree. And K5 will find the mid lane tower. It's gonna be their first tower of the game. So Darkside actually got the first tower of the game in bot lane with the bounty.
Yeah, I mean, they're now 15 minutes into the game, and I mean, if they're doing things correctly, maybe they can start trading up these bounties more and more.
Yeah. How's the towers? Top lane is really healthy, mid lane really healthy. But of course, I mean, I suppose they have to kind of contest next Drake, but if they don't somehow, they should look for the top lane outer tower.
Well, it is a Cloud Dragon, right? And I mean, even though it obviously has a lot of value in the game, still, the soul that is, I think still you kind of have to end up looking for these trades, right? You look at the items right now on the side of Karolinerna, and I mean, GPUs hit the Navori Quick Blades, Sejuani is almost on 2 items, and meanwhile you're really struggling. Your Rod of Ages has not yet been completed. Rakan doesn't have his Mythic yet.
Yeah.
I think you really have to try to look for some sort of trade here.
The Rod of Ages just came in for KVW.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough. Not even gonna be up for the next Drake after this one.
Yeah. Moscow has found KVW, hits the chain. Has to wait for his cooldowns, but probably the Aurelian Sword will die. Flash out, he will survive actually. Good base TP. Actually, he will TP to his inner tower to survive.
Yeah, I'm looking really scared here.
Yeah, and Darkside do indeed look for the top lane outer tower. They will get the bounty. Karolinerna are answering with a Rift Herald in bot lane. Will have find a tower for themselves. Björnen somehow ends up on the wrong side of the tower. Karolinerna are answering top lane. They don't really have to rush this Drake, and they defend the tower. They will also get the charge off on the inner charge. Oh no, is Sejuani gonna go for the info dive here onto KW? Flashless, he does have the ultimate, but he gets engaged upon Bash with a flash engage. Stun comes down, and there's the kill. Morty TPing, but it's too little too late.
Yeah, it's just a rough one, isn't it?
Yeah. And now that Morty TPs, Gangplank will look for the top lane tower.
Yeah, I mean, some would even call this a disaster, but I mean, if anything, with what we've learned from watching the light side games is that, I mean, the game is not really over until it's over, you know what I mean?
It's true.
You never know what's gonna happen in a game of League of Legends.
The Gangplank is playing very aggressively. Does force out the Nature's Grasp from Sampa, but yeah, he still goes flashes in, finds the solo kill. And Sampa is not having his game of his life right now.
Yeah, really not.
And the Sejuani with the smart itemization has built Force of Nature second item, as there is the Gragas, Maokai, Aurelian for Darkside.
Yeah, and I mean, we see now as well, LeBlanc finishes the Magi's. It's gonna be rough to deal with.
Should Saya go Kraken here instead of Gale Force, since she's the only AD for Darkside?
I mean, they could argue that, I guess, but I also think that what's more important, rather than being able to out-attack more flat out, right, and having the attack speed or increased damage, is that you make sure you can out-attack as much as possible. And you look at right now what you're facing: GP, Fresh, LeBlanc, Sejuani, right? He doesn't have any cleanse. I mean, this Gale Force can provide a lot of value in the fact that he can play more aggressively and more upfront, right, while still being able to dodge out on a lot of things.
Yeah. I think Swisell and Björnen might be going on to this Gangplank. He is 4 levels above Björnen. But if they can find an engage from Rakan with the swiftness, they could find lethal damage here. But Bash is here, and so is the Kai'Sa and the Thresh. It's a party, and Darkside probably did not want to be invited to this one. But here they are, and oh, the Gangplank barrel just, yeah, double kill for Cobban on the Gangplank.
Yeah, I mean, this was the wrong type of party for the Darkside bot lane.
Yes. Thomas Go looking so comfortable on the long, just dashing forward all the time, using his abilities. And Sampe has been caught out, flashes away, so he will live this time around, but this is the third red buff in a row that he will not be allowed to take. At this point, I mean, the game is just over. Baron has been started up by Karolinerna. I feel like, yeah, it's just 13,000 goal lead. Karolinerna have to misplay so hard for them not to win this one.
Yeah, I mean, I think once again Allah needs to come down from the heavens and bless us with his presence. Otherwise, this one is gonna probably not gonna go so well for Darkside.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not even sure that would be enough in this one. 15,000 gold between the teams.
Yeah, it's a really rough one.
And looking at individual gold, top lane, it's a 4,000 gold lead for the Gangplank. Jungle, 3,000 gold lead. Mid lane, 4,000 gold lead. Bot lane, 1,000 gold lead. Way closer. Support about a 2,000 gold lead as well. Yikes. At least Gragas has his fully stacked Rod of Ages now. Seraphs as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's really strong in this game now.
Draft coming down. Darkside recognize that there's 3 members of Karolinerna mid lane. Rest, they have 2. They are 1-3-1 right now, but they just run away, and the Nature's Grasp is now on cooldown.
I mean, the right idea at kind of the wrong time, right? They have to look for some sort of pick, but a bit trigger element.
Ultimate. Onto Sampe, who will fall due to the LeBlanc.
Yeah, and Aurelian Soul uses a powered ult there, and it's not gonna lead to anything. A bit sad, maybe.
Engage onto Cobban, they have found the pick here, and they will find their second kill of the game. Goes into Bjarnen's pocket, which could prove huge, actually. Could buy Darkside some time, but Karolinerna are still taking down the inhibitor tower here. Even with the Gangplank dead, Karolinerna are probably ahead in gold. Especially when it's a 4v4. No inhib taken yet though. And looks like Karolinerna will reset. Drake is up in 40 seconds. Well, it's only a 14,000 gold lead now. Bjarnen was able to pick up his second item. Yeah, and Karolinerna are going to get Cloud Soul here. And I feel like the absolute only way for Darkside to ever win this game would be if they can flip Elder Drake, but there's a lot of minutes between now and Elder Drake spawning, so I think the game will probably be over by then.
Yeah, and one question you almost have to ask as well, if that's the only way for Darkside to win, should they just not leave this Drake then, Karolinerna?
Yeah, true. It looks like they are for now. They are going middle instead, killing Sampe once again. 0 and 7 on the Maokai. And yeah, Karolinerna, I mean, they don't need the Cloud Soul to win the game. They're instead pushing mid. Don't have Baron any longer, so the wave clear from Darkside is decent. Damage from Thomas Go now going over the wall. Well, doesn't deal too much damage when he's just auto-attacking. And actually, he gets caught under the tower. Forced to flash out. Did his W time out or what happened?
Not sure.
He didn't engage mid lane. Bash is okay though, because he gets the lantern.
I mean, it looked like he teleported back there almost, like back and forth.
Oh,
So.
is that what he did?
But I'm not sure. Looked a bit weird.
Yeah. Darkside.
For sure not what he intended.
Yeah, that's for sure. Karolinerna will now step towards the dragon. And they will claim themselves the Cloud Soul. Good Darkside perhaps look to take down his top lane. Our tower wave is not pushed at all. But the tower is pretty low, so if they could get up there, it's quite a nice bounty to collect.
I think their best shout right now is just, okay, so we know that Karolinerna has all the vision in bot side, right? They used to Drake, okay, try to set up some sort of a trap in a top side jungle, right? Because this is really where you can play right now. So not even like playing for anything flat out like turrets or camps or waves or whatever. Just try to stack in a bush or whatever and hope they face check, because that's really the only chance they have. They need to get some picks here, right, in order to come back.
Yeah. Sampe trying to take his raptors, but he's going to be in trouble for it, forced to flash out. At least they got the small ones. Oh, Sejanni is just so fast. Looks like it's like ×2 right now. Sejanni is running so fast.
You're chill, bro.
True.
It's not a race, Jesus.
This boar is on something.
Yeah, boar racing up in here. I don't know, is that a thing? Should be.
Probably.
It is now.
Oh, what? The bot is done somehow misses. Engage onto the thresh, flashes out. Can he find damage? I think he find a pick here. Shut down, and KVW gets that one. Thomas Go looking towards the top lane inhibitor, split pushing on the LeBlanc. I think he will not be able to get this. They find the mid lane inhibitor tower. This is, for some reason, going way slower than I thought it would.
Yeah, I mean, this is really, as I said, what Darkside needed, right? They need to get the one pick, and then all of a sudden, then Karolinerna can't siege anymore, right? Because they risk of throwing the entire game in a 4v5 fight, right? So they have to slow down the game then, and this is really what Darkside needed, right?
Yeah.
And now taking back some control, and then potentially setting up for another pick.
And they will need it, because in 20 seconds the Baron will spawn, and I assure you Karolinerna will be trying to go for that one. Try to force a fight around it, or just straight up take it.
Yeah, and what they do know is that Fresh just used Flash, and LeBlanc used her Flash earlier when he was doing that stuff on their inhibitor turret. So if they can get some sort of a lockdown or pick onto one of these guys, then potentially they have something to play for.
Have to go quite soon. Baron is already started up, and Darkside are too late. Sampe isn't even in time, he didn't have flash either, and the hook hits onto him, and he's gonna get stunned up and taken down once again.
That's gonna be rough.
Yeah.
Now just collecting the waves here for Karolinerna, and maybe they're even gonna look for the end push here.
I feel like they're probably gonna go triple inhib with how they've been playing the last 5 minutes or so. I mean, they are really far ahead, but they're playing it very cautiously.
Yeah, they really don't want to throw this game. They also watch the light side games for sure.
Yeah. Mid lane inhibitor falls. Moscow picking up the top lane one, and Cobban has been pushing in bot lane. They will indeed look for the triple inhibs. Probably gonna reset after that and then look to end the game.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Will Darkside look to make a stand at this last inhibitor? Saya autos onto the Sejanni, well, tickler pretty much. Giselle still not looking for the engage. Flash in from Bash, gets the stun onto... Oh, they just one-shot Björnen. Something gonna be in trouble. The Aurelian Soul ultimate comes down. The Kai'Sa is quite low, but she used the ultimate out, still now on a rampage. They find KVW as well. Giselle going to fall. Morty, only one standing. This is going to be game 1 going to Karolinerna. It took some time, but... Oh, actually... Morty doesn't have the ultimate, otherwise he could go for the ultimate into the fountain. Does he get? No, it doesn't have enough damage. Karolinerna will find the victory in game number 1. Wait, is that Floops playing support for
Yes.
Karolinerna? Oh, I had no idea. But they have random names, man.
Man, it even says, look your friendlies, man. You have Executioner there at FloopsXD
Oh.
now. Damn it.
Oh, well, that's unlucky. Oh, well, do you have any takes on this game?
I mean, just a really dominant performance, right, from Karolinerna. I mean, as you said, I mean, almost a bit slow, but I mean, good things, they come with time, right? And I mean, you shouldn't rush them. So they end up winning the game, and I mean, especially the early game looked really dominant, and then they just kept up the pressure throughout the entire game, pick after pick after pick, and then good fights to go along, right? And the Darkside, I mean, really throughout the entire game is looking really lost and never really having a chance to come back almost.
Yeah. Darkside will have to find some new strats for game number 2 perhaps. They need to find a game win, they need to find 2 even in order to win this series. We'll see if they can do so. We're gonna head to a quick break and then we will be back with game numero 2. Stay tuned. and gentlemen, we are back with game numero dos. Darkside this time around on the blue side have to find themselves, well, something better than in game 1 and accept what do you do as a coach and what do you do as a player when you have such a rough game 1 to a series like that.
I mean, really what you have to do is, right, like, I mean, when it comes to the game, right, it's like, okay, identifying what the problem was or if there was a problem, right, sometimes you just get a bit unlucky. But especially in this game 1, you can kind of assume, okay, there was some sort of problem, right? If it's in gameplay or in draft or whatever, you have to pretty much identify what it is and then try to change that up. And if you think, okay, it's not in the draft, then okay, you give instructions, right? Really is the idea. And then it's like, okay, for example, if you felt like the mid lane matchup was too rough, okay, change that up. Or if you thought that something went wrong in the early game with any ganking or with how we let Sejuani play, okay, change that up and try to find a way to counter it, you know?
Yep, makes sense to me. As for the bans, Darkside have banned away Wukong, Lulu, Aurelion Sol, and Karolinerna have banned away the Caitlyn, the Jarvan, and the Sejuani. First pick was the Saya. Karolinerna answered with the Rakan, Ezreal, and since the Rakan was taken, Darkside will likely go for the Nautilus here. Maybe not though.
Yeah, maybe still a bit indecisive on what the support will be here. I mean, they picked the Vi now, so they already have the lockdown. Maybe Nautilus would be a bit overkill now.
So, what other pairing is there for the Saya?
I mean, in general, I mean, that's obviously the what's it called? Rakan one is obviously the clearest one, but I mean, you can go for some other. I mean, the Nautilus one is not like uncommon. You can for sure do it. Mainly as a counter into Rakan as well, it's not bad. I mean, the Fresh is one you can go for, and if then it really just depends on what enemies decided to go for, right? I mean, you can play most things with the Saya, that's not the issue for her. You can opt into something more aggressive, engagey. When they have the Ezreal, Rakan, Syndra in this game, I mean, something you can look for is, as I said, the Nautilus. I mean, you could look for the Leona, the Pike, for example, even. But if you want something more defensive, otherwise, I mean, the Janna obviously works, and I mean, something more like just that themes with the Saya on the peel back is generally fine. But she really just wants something that can enable her to play into the enemy comp as well as possible, right? And Rakan usually can do both of these things, both play for peel and poke, and plays to be the main engage, right? That Saya can follow up on, right? That's why it's not only such a great pairing because of the stat buffs and the ability synergies in the kit designs, but also just with how the champion works, right?
Yeah. Mid lane matchup, it's going to be the Ahri into the LeBlanc, and Nautilus was banned away, so we will not see that. Diego was taken away from by Darkside, rather. Should expect to see jungle on R4 here and mid and top on R5, right? Or
yeah, I mean, probably. I mean, we already see the jungle. I think there is. I mean, jungle counter picks underrated, I think, for sure. I mean, you could in some games save it for R5. I don't think it's like super bad or anything. But you already see the jungler, and usually you don't need to see much else unless you have some really like situational pick or niche pick, right? I mean, for some reason they want to pick the Fiddlesticks or something, right? Maybe they want to wait for the R5. But I would doubt it. I would think they just pick it on R4 here.
Yeah, obviously it's going to be Ezreal jungle for Karolinerna.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of clear now that you say it, actually. So I wonder what ADC they will be picking here.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's not going to be Kindred because she's banned out. Going to be the Belvet lock-in for Karolinerna.
Belvet ADC, that's a new one for me, I must say.
Yeah. I mean, I have seen that Belvet support is a bit of a thing, so maybe it's Rakan in solo lane.
That's true. Maybe it's even Syndra bot lane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be.
We're gonna see the Leona here from the looks of it. I mean, it makes some sort of sense into Syndra. Ezreal maybe not so much, but you already have, as I said, the ultimate from Vi that can lock down the Ezreal. So you probably don't need much more.
Yeah. Now the Darkside will have to blind pick top lane here. Maybe Morty fancies the gangplank. Maybe it's a Kled angle. Oh, or maybe it's time to pull out the Viking.
Yeah, we will see. I mean, Olaf is a solid blind for sure, and he's gonna be able to, or he's gonna be locking that in.
Yeah, there's nothing you can pick into it that's good, so pretty good line pick.
I mean, you've never played Garen matchup, man.
It's true. But I doubt that Cobban will lock in Garen right there. Oh, no way he's locking this in. I mean, it's okay, I suppose. Yeah, okay, but... Okay. Cobban will be taking the L in this one.
I mean, I don't think the matchup is that bad.
No, of course
Personally.
it's bad, but what is he gonna do?
No, yeah, no, for sure. But this is like the classic handshake. Oh well, I don't have a pick into Olaf, whatever. I'll just pick a tank and then I'll just try to outscale him.
Yeah.
And you go face rush, right? And you just chill for the entire game. It's pretty much the idea. And I mean, in this game, I don't think it's even bad because you look at the team comps, right? And Olaf here, he's playing without an enchanter, right? And he's playing into high damage champion Belveth, the Syndra, you know. This Olaf, if he gets into mid and late game without being ahead, he's gonna struggle a lot.
Who questions my ability?
Yeah.
Shall I turn in my badge and write
I mean, yeah, the Ornn matchup, Olaf Ornn is a interesting one. It's pretty much a stat check one. Where, I mean, if Ornn gets ahead, Olaf can be completely useless, but if Olaf gets ahead, oh boy, Ornn will get run down.
I won't be denied.
Yeah, and I mean, personally, always when I play the matchup as Olaf, I don't even look to like trade that much. I'd rather like, because I always felt like if the Ornn is good, I will never kill him. That's just kind of always the view I had on it. So I tried to play for CS lead instead than trying to, I mean, unlock myself on the map, right? I mean, playing for invades, for example, and these kind of things, right? And I mean, even stealing enemy camps by myself, right? And building a lead that way.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see
that
what they
works,
go
of
for
course.
here. Yeah. Maybe how do you play it when you play on the Ornn side? Obviously, quite the Ornn player.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, I think Olaf is a face rush matchup. I think it is.
Yeah.
So you just go for the short trades up against the Olaf. I think you build full Sunfire first item in this very matchup. It's not super common, but in this, I think this is one of the matchup where you actually do it. And yeah, you have some kill pressure. You could go TP Ignite in this one, kinda funny. Reduces some of the healing that Olaf has built into his kit. And yeah, just play good, hope you win, otherwise team diff.
Yeah, the classic.
Yeah. Jungle matchup, Belveth up against Vi. Cool. I don't have a take on that one. I mean, Vi could go for some early ganks, I suppose. A bit more difficult for Belveth to do so, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, Vi is a ganking champion, as you say, right? I mean, she's gonna really be looking towards, I mean, trying to snowball her lanes here. I mean, I think Olaf is probably gonna be able to sit in this 1v1 kind of by himself, and then, but Vi wants to unlock the mid lane, unlock the bot lane, right? Get the Sai ahead, because realistically, I mean, if the Sai is not ahead, I mean, they're gonna start lacking damage at some point, and then it's like maybe translating this lead into more of like top lane, or even like just putting so much pressure on the other side of the map that Olaf gets to do whatever he wants on the top side. But meanwhile, Belveth kind of wants to, instead of ganking, right, skirmish a lot. I mean, this is a very hard skirmishing champion, right? And with the Syndra especially, I would imagine that she really wants to play around mid lane this game, trying for the mid 2v2 into, I mean, either going into either side lane or going into enemy jungle and just playing for camps.
Yeah. I feel like Syndra will probably not have a fun game in this one. She kinda has to build the Sonjas really early up against the Olaf Vi Leona that will just perma-engage on her.
Yeah, and I mean the Vi Ahri, and obviously, as you say, the Olaf as well. I mean, these are champions that can dive in, and you obviously have the self-peel on the Saya, so I mean, in that sense, it makes a lot of sense. And you kind of lack the peel as well. I mean, Rakan, I mean, he can peel to some extent, but not really that much. And then Ornn as well can create a lot of space, but have to be really careful here about like where they place. I mean, every ability really, how they use the Belveth W in fights, and how they use the Ornn Q, and these kind of things, right? Because if they use these abilities poorly, then the Vi Ahri will just start running through the team.
Yeah. I've seen KVW with quite a crazy RE performance in Div 3 earlier. We'll see if he can do the same this time around.
Yeah, I mean, I've or not nightmares, dreams about that one for sure. I mean, and Olaf, Morty as well, of course. Good memories, good memories. Let's hope we can relive them.
Yeah, for sure. And is Hullbreaker item you can go on Olaf, or is this completely grief?
I think you have too many items you want to build on Olaf. I mean, Olaf is a champion there where, like, I mean, you have so many items that are good on him, right? I mean, this game, you have the option of either going Stridebreaker because you're playing into Ezreal Syndra, right? You don't have to, I think. You can get away with playing something else. I mean, usually it would be Ravenous into the Radiant Virtue here then. And I would assume that is what he's gonna be able to, or what he's gonna be going for in the end of the day, right? And then it's like, okay, what else do you want to build? Okay, you want Styrax because you have such high base AD, right? And then you want the Death Stance, and you want the Force of Nature, and you want so many items on this champion, right? That I think Hullbreaker is just a waste of gold.
I see. Because I was just thinking, who would be able to match him in the split push?
Yeah, and I mean, that's a solid question, right? But I also think then it's like, okay, can Olaf just walk up the turret, hit the turret without Ornn wave clearing or Ornn slightly contesting him, right? And then it's like, can Olaf dive the Ornn? These kind of things, right?
Yeah.
Because realistically, if you go for the Hullbreaker, you're putting yourself on a timer and you're making the entire game about, can I end on side lane before my team gets run over, you know, or something like this, or like before I get collapsed on, etc. These kind of things. And Olaf is a fine champion at split pushing, right? Especially if you end up going the Triforce build, right? Then it can really work out and you can push these turrets really quick. But it's not really what you go on Olaf anymore, and it's just a bit risky, I would argue, even.
Unlucky. I was hoping to see it.
I mean, it's not impossible. Maybe Morty here feels like, oh, well, later on into the game, he can't team fight, and then he's just like, I'm just gonna go for the Hullbreaker and just hope for the best, right? It's not impossible.
Yeah, it would be kind of based. Could be Flash Ghost for the... You always go Flash Ghost on Olaf, right? Oh.
I was gonna say you don't have to. I mean, I was never a person that really went it. I mean, I think it depends on the game highly. I think it's realistically what scales the best, right? For sure. But I mean, in this matchup, this is not an easy matchup for Olaf, I would argue. I mean, it's like, you can win it, you cannot win it, you know, these kind of things. But if you end up going the Flash Ghost here and you don't get the crashes you need and you end up getting a bit bullied by the Ornn, you're gonna struggle a lot without the TP, right? And you're even gonna start falling behind. And this is kind of what I was talking about as well, how, I mean, I really like playing for the CS lead in this matchup, right? And the TP, I think, matches up well with that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know who I'm supposed to cheer for in this top lane. It's Darkside on one side, but also there's an Ornn, so yeah, we'll see. Well, we are into game number 2, Darkside versus Karolinerna. Karolinerna took game 1, and let's see if Darkside can make the reverse sweep dream happen. I feel like Stridebreaker Olaf could be pretty good into Ornn as well, just for the slow.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, if Ornn runs a phase rush, then maybe not so much, right? Because it gives a lot of slow reduction, but this game he ended up not doing it.
Yeah, I don't know, you kinda just wanna go for the short trades up against Olaf, get the QWE, maybe an auto, but then you wanna peace out before Olaf starts to trade back. So yeah, I mean, you don't really get too many grasp procs in the lane, or you shouldn't, at least. And if you do, Olaf will be trading back.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Grasp is probably the last option you would go for, right? I mean, you have the option of going Phase Rush, I mean, you have the option of going Unseal the Spellbook if you want, and I feel like Grasp is probably the last one you would want to go for in this one.
Yeah, exactly. Morty is zoning these first creeps. He does miss the first 3 minions himself, and I think Ornn gets at least one of them. Ghost coming down from Morty here, but he was slowed. From KV, who has taken a lot of damage from the Syndra. He's running Corruption Pot though. Yeah, Morty now gonna crash on the second wave. Look for a deep ward, maybe. No, actually it doesn't have a ward. Oh, wait, he already placed
No, I
it.
placed it in Tribush.
Okay, Fee eating another chunk there from the Syndra, but actually Yoyu, or Stamper rather, is in mid lane looking for a gank, but well, we won't see any more action in that. And Karolinerna spotted out the Vi, and now Belvet will go for the invade. Stamper will go for the gank mid lane then. They have found engage onto the Syndra. The charm gonna come in from KD with the sidestep from Tomasku, still holding on to the flash now, but he's playing so confident.
Yeah, I mean, he just humiliates the mid jungle of Darkside there even.
Yeah.
And in the bot side jungle right now, I mean, Sampis is gonna be forced out completely.
Morty just wants Ornn to go for an all-in here, holding on to the W. Ornn could have little damage, but he doesn't find the knockup. Oh, Morty a bit scared there. Flash in from Floops. Finds KVW, and they will find first blood super low. Rakan, does Sampy go for it? No?
Don't forget Q yet. Must have.
Oh. Oh yeah, he was taking the scuttle crap. Does Morty go for the dive in top lane here? Probably not. But it would be so pretty to see it. Will he go for the dive? No.
I feel like he kind of gets one tapped if he does it. I mean, it would sync up with the classic I am Olaf, I am psychopath gameplay.
Yeah.
But maybe a bit too psychotic in this one.
Morty is playing like around the walls. It's just because he wants Ornn to E him. Cobben look at the freeze the wave. The Velvet is quite close. Morty could look for a dive here. He kind of has to. Engage comes down from Cobben. No goes from the Olaf. Velvet is here and she will pick up the kill. Stampe 1v1 against Rakan. Should win that one. He does have red buff as well.
I did think so, but Rakan right now coming out on top.
Engage bot lane onto the Estral. He has flash cleanse. Doesn't even use the arcane shift. No way. Rakan gets the scuttle crab. It's a disaster.
Yeah, I mean, you just hate to see it, right? I mean, if he wasn't tilted after the last game, then I mean,
Oh.
yeah, he's not gonna be happy now, is he?
Yeah. And meanwhile, Velvet is taking away the Gromp, and now soon the Wolves as well. Oh no.
Yeah, and I mean, really, all that's left is just taking away his family at this point, right? And I mean, his job is living, everything. And I mean, he already took the living, right? Let's put it like that, the job, right? I mean, no camps left to farm, no lanes to gank.
He could
no
gank
hope
in
left.
mid lane, but Bash is gonna do the exact same thing.
Yeah. And I mean, 2 on this Belveth already, and just really strong in the game, right? Stealing away every camp, really dominating the map.
Oh wait, they know Samp is in that bush, I think, because of the ward. And I just eat some poke from the Syndra. Bot lane's been pretty quiet in this one. CS is dead even. Yeah, top lane is what we see. This Morty keeps hitting on this Ornn, who has built Bami's first item. Could be going Sunfire first item, or maybe just gonna sit on the Bamis and then build into either the Yakshow or Radiant Virtue. We'll see.
Yeah. Could be possible, both of them.
And I suppose that Olaf is building towards the Hydra when he has pickaxe first item.
Yeah, I mean, he could be going for the Iron Spike Whip, of course, but
Oh, that's true.
I would imagine he ends up going for the Hydra, but you never know.
Neither team has been looking towards the Drake yet. First one is going to be a Cloud Drake. AVW currently on a roam towards bot lane, has his ultimate available. There is a ward for Karolinerna though. They will spot the Ahri out. Still might look for the dive here. KV is stepping up. But yeah, Arcane Shift from Ezreal, and there is a mini wave to protect them. They will get the plate in the bot lane, but nothing else. Oh, Warren ultimate going down top lane. And the Olaf ultimate gets forced out. Velvet is of course top lane. Engage from Floops in bot lane. But still no real action there. Ezreal is yet to reset, so they don't really want to look for a fight.
Yeah, and as well with Belveth being top side, I don't think they want to do too much here on the bot side.
It looks like Darkside may be getting their first objective of this series. The first Drake at least. I think objective.
I think they got the first turret even in the last game.
Oh yeah, I was thinking
Neutral.
camps, yeah, neutral objectives. Rakan could be in some trouble. Zenith Blade lands and he follows the grand entrance from Rakan, but only some chip damage onto Floops. Does Sampi go for it? No. Could be a dive for Darkside in this bot lane. Vi has her C's and this is up. Rakan uses W into the tower. He's really low. Can he find little damage? He will indeed. Björn was the one tanking the tower. He lived and he got the kill. So nice.
Yeah, and I mean, for once Darkside, or I mean, for once in the series, Darkside end up making a good play and setting it up.
Yes, indeed. Now KD could be in some trouble here. The unleashed power comes down onto me. Will be forced to reset. Doesn't have TP, so going to miss most of the next wave.
Yeah, and I would imagine this Belveth is just gonna keep looking for these camps, now taking the Raptors and probably going into the red, but...
Yeah, maybe even attacking this Vi for a bit, who is gonna take a lot of damage, flashes out, but the Belvet can just dash after, she can dash in every single direction and will take down Sampe.
Yeah, they're just living in this jungle right now.
Yes, Wissel gets engaged upon by Floops and he goes in. And he will for sure lose his life for that one. Thomas Gould gets his first frag of the game. Robin is a bit low. Oh, but Ornn could have went aggressive there, I think. Does use the Ornn Horn. Olaf will ulti this though, but he uses it very late, and that's gonna be a solo kill for Cobben.
Yeah, I mean, you just hate to see it, don't you?
Yes. Flash engage from Bash. Oh, but a nice timing on the Featherstorm there from Bjarnen. And Darkside look for a re-engage. Vi ultimate is not up, and they probably aren't strong enough to fight this Belvet right now.
Yeah, I would imagine she's even finishing Blade here, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Really strong in this game now, and Ornn is finishing the Sunfire as well.
He is indeed. Olaf building towards his first item. Still not quite there. Ornn has actually picked up the plate here as well with the Demolish. Gonna take a second one, then reset. Oh. We now have a game pause. Lucky we don't have a Darkside bingo. It could have been on the bingo card.
Yeah, I might have to make one for the next time.
Yeah. Well, 11 minutes into the game, 3000 goal lead for Karolinerna. Doesn't look too grim for Darkside right now, but it also does not look great. What would you like to see Darkside do to get rolling in this game?
I mean, it's like last game, right? They're on the back foot, right? So they have to make sure that they find advantages to play for, right? And I mean, as you can see right now, I mean, if you look at the side of Karolinerna, I mean, they're really strong on this Belveth. I mean, this Syndra is really far ahead. But what they don't have going for them is the bot lane, right? I mean, right now Björnen is 1-0, and I mean, if they can keep forcing these bot lane plays, maybe they have something to hold on to and push forward, you know?
Yeah.
So really, that's what I'm gonna hope that they end up looking for. I mean, they already lost the Herald. I mean, they got the first Drake. So really, what I want to see from them is, I mean, even a bot lane dive here coming through again. I mean, Sampe right now in the bot side jungle, and then for the next Drake, picking that up and just keep going on that that page throughout the entire game.
Yeah, that could be the angle. We have a bit of a freeze because of the pause. It will unfreeze soon, and folks, don't panic. The Cell looking mid lane, Spirit Rush coming down. Jump is here, so Thomas Go flashing towards his jungler though, and AV will get taken really low, gonna get taken down as well. Thomas Go still alive, Knight is taken and he will fall. Sampe may be in some trouble, he gets the Q out. Can Swizzle and Sampe survive? That is really good.
I mean, Darkside avoid disaster right here. I end up getting the 1-for-1.
Yeah. I mean, the Rift Herald is probably gonna come down here, and that could be the full tower, but we don't talk about that.
Yeah, it's completely irrelevant.
Yeah, it is indeed. Belvet is gonna get solo gold on the first tower in mid lane. Uh-oh. Now sitting on 2000 gold. And they will get the second charge as well. Is she gonna get this tower? No.
I mean, Belwef with her Void Legacy is completely demolishing the turrets.
Yeah. Morty should look to reset to pick up his item quite soon. Is that Ravenous? I have no clue how I build it.
Yes.
Nowadays. Okay.
Yeah, it's for sure. Maybe I just bought something else.
The
Drake is coming up in 1 minute now, so...
Yeah, and the Velvet, I think she's building towards the Yak show, so she's just gonna be completely unkillable as well.
Yeah, I mean, this is gonna be a rough one to take down, right? But I mean, yeah, they have a lot of damage, right? That's one thing they're not lacking.
Yeah. The ward here spots out the Velvet Syndra, but is Bjarne gonna be in trouble? He goes, has been pot Featherstorm as well. Nice Solar Flare stops Thomas Go in his tracks, and Bjarne will survive, but that probably means that Darkside have to give this Drake. And they're still looking for a play on to Bjarne though, still has flash, he will get out for now. Loop still going on to him, Swizzle doesn't hit the Zenith Blade, and will flash out to survive. Probably means that Karolinerna get the full tower bot lane and the dragon though.
Yeah, they end up getting out, but you really have to ask, where is the rest of Darkside, right? This is what you had to hold on to. This is what you needed to play for, and you're just sacrificing
away
it.
the blue buff, now going onto the Syndra. Velvet is here as well. Season the Assist onto the Syndra, can they find lethal damage? The Spirit Rush is coming down, they can't find the final damage, he does with the auto. But still 2 members from Darkside are going to fall. And that's for sure going to be Drake, a double kill for Velvet. And the bot lane tower falls.
Another Ornalt in top lane. Not
Yeah.
really leading to anything though.
No, and Morty's just gonna sustain back up with the Ravenous Hydra as well. The Coben is just looking to reset. Actually, he's staying for now. I mean, Morty could go for dive here. Does have the Ragnarok and Ghost available. Morty, a bit tanky, but we'll see if Morty fancies it. Probably not. Tampa has started up the second Rift Herald, but it is spotted up by Flute. Velvet is currently in base. Maybe Sampa has a timer to find this one.
Yeah, the question is what does he know and what does he not know? Does he know the Belwef is on her way?
Oh, wait, that looked so weird. The Rakan probably gonna die here. So the Zenith Blade stopped Rakan's grand entrance, but she still went over the wall. That was
strange,
an interaction.
Yeah, I was gonna say a strange interaction. I haven't seen that one before.
Yeah. Engage onto the Ezreal. Maybe Spirit Rush has been used by KVW, but Samp is gonna be in some trouble. Just does get the ultimate onto Loops and will live. Velvet's gonna have a dash soon. Can the VIQ come up in time though? Looks like it, and Morty doesn't hit the axe, but the blast cone is there. Oh no. Actually, somehow Bash is fast enough and smites Sampa. Morty has TP, tried to reset, maybe can just clear this wave though.
Yeah, it looks like Beluef kind of gave up on the mission and just left.
Yeah, instead taking the top side of Sampe.
Over and over again.
Yeah. AV, once again, going for more of a utility build on Ari, even though he's solo AP, which is interesting. Not going for the poke damage, more the sustained damage with the CDR build. Oh, Blade lands onto Ezreal, has cleanse, uses it as well. Solar Flare could come down, but it doesn't. Sampe looking for an engage, but he does not have his cease and desist available. Does stop Bjarnan from resetting. I don't think it hit, but he had to dodge it. And Sampe is just dead. And the inner tower will fall. And Velvet is now inside Darkside's base. Briefly though, but... And it tells you the picture of how this game is looking right now.
Yeah, for sure.
And another inner tower will just get taken for free by Karolinerna. And it's starting to look like game 1 all over again. It was for sure better than game 2 has been for sure been looking better for Darkside, but now Karolinerna are starting to grab a hold of this one.
Yeah, I mean they're really looking strong, right? And I mean once they get a lead, I mean this game it was on the Belref, right? They just keep on looking how to push that, right? And it's like impressive to see, right? I mean first, okay, she gets off a really good start into the game, gets the first blood, starts invading permanently, and just lives in this jungle, right? And he just keeps on going, keeps on living in the jungle, gets the first turret, next turret, next turret, you know what I mean?
Yeah, although except I have to say this is a family-friendly stream, so let's maybe not talk about how Velvet gets off, but otherwise I agree.
Whoa, pause. Hey yo, these are some accusements here.
Mid lane as I got ganked by my cat, there will be an engage, and the Floops is in the middle of Darkside. Candy finds some kills here, they have found the Ezreal, but both Sampe and Twisted have fallen. The Morty, or the Oran rather, is currently in Darkside's face. Bjarne will fall, KV running for his life. Morty is just pushing top lane right now, the flash onto KV. Can they find lethal damage? He doesn't have the Spirit Rush available, and he will get taken down eventually. I think Olaf maybe had to join up for that one. If they want to go for that.
Potentially, but also if you're Olaf this game and you're sitting and then you see your team start a fight while you're pushing top lane for free, are you really gonna be saying that, hey, I'm tipping, guys, don't worry about it? Or are you just gonna say, well, it's your fault, and keep on pushing?
Yeah. I mean, he does get one tower in top lane, looks like he will be going for the second one as well.
Yeah.
And he got bounty on both of them, so, I mean, not horrible.
Yeah, I mean, he got really rich off this one.
For sure.
And he's not really sure what he is building for right now. He has gotten the Coldfields and the Longsword, but...
Can Darkside find this tower? I think they may be able to, because Karolinerna were on the Drake, the Riftral charge should come in here. And it does take the tower. Another bounty, 3 of them picked up in quick succession. Oh, Bjarne gotta be in some trouble. He has flash, but he is just dead here. He even had Gale Force, but he just didn't use it. Bash is legendary. And are they now going to turn onto the Baron 20 minutes into the game? Again, they are indeed, and it's gonna get taken down so quick. They're burning through that one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they even spotted out Sampe, almost got past
Yeah.
the Rakan initially, but
But
now
he's on
just
Mission
gonna be getting
Impossible right
collapsed
now. Ornn actually fails his ultimate, but Sampe will still fall to the unleashed power of Thomas Go.
on. Yeah, it's rough.
Yeah, that's gonna be Dre, or Baron rather, for Karolinerna. Morty is bot lane, will probably find yet another tower, does indeed do so.
Yeah, they ended up going in the Black Cleaver this game, which it's a shame to see, really, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, he's struggling to kill the Orb, who went for the Iceborne Gauntlet in this one. That's an item, I guess.
Yeah, that it for sure is.
AV looking onto Floops. He doesn't really have too much damage, but of course it's just the Rakan. This is just the Belvet going on to Sampe, who does find Thomas Go under the tower. He will tank it up and he will get taken down. That's a shutdown. Pretty huge 1-for-1. Darkside meanwhile diving in this mid lane, trying to find something. Only find themselves taking some damage. And this Belvet pushing top lane. I guess Morty may be able to deal with her. She will at least go away, but she will be flanking KVW, and Björn Flash comes in from the Belvet. Ultimate from the Saya, but she's gonna be taken down for sure. Had Flash, had Ghost, had Gale Force, but she won't use it. KV now taken down to the Ignite Smite, and Floops gets it with the Ignite. 10,000 gold lead for Karolinerna, who are now looking for the mid lane inhibitor. The waves are not synced up, so they will probably just get this inhibitor and then back up, or maybe look to end here, but they don't even... I mean, they have a wave soon. And they will maybe look for it. They are onto the first Nexus tower. That's gonna get taken down quite quick. They have it demolished as well. But the engage comes in. Morty is onto the Ezreal. They use the season from Vice, but they have found the pick. Morty going even further. Finds the Rakan. Cobben really low, but it is the tanky Or. Velvet, however, is full HP. Thomas Go has joined up. They kill Sampes as well, going to fall shortly after. And the Unleashed Power does find the Ahri. Orn goes down, but it's now Björn left in a 1v2. No ultimate available for the Saya. Gale Force is up, Flash is up, but she has to do the impossible pretty much. Gets into the fountain to heal. But that means the second Nexus tower will go down. It dodges the Scatter the Weak pretty nicely. It's actually happy feast that, but Syndra has the Seraph's Embrace, has the stopwatch. That's going to be the ace coming down from Karolinerna, and the 2-0 victory as well. Well,
Yeah. Really
accept-
rough game, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think there's any way to sugarcoat it. Darkside, I mean, the game 2 was a lot better from Darkside, but in the end, they just pretty much get run over by Karolinerna. That's the best way to put it, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they ended up looking for some plays and trying to find some advantages, right? But in the end, I think Karolinerna every time managed to shoot back or even counter it, right? And just shutting down pretty much all attempts from Darkside to come back into the game.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if someone is down to interview after that one. Who's gonna take that one for the team, if anyone. But yeah, that was a series. And with this loss, I believe Darkside can no longer make playoffs. I think they had to win all of the remaining series in order to make playoffs. I'm fairly sure, because I think top 4 in Div 3 from every group goes to playoffs, and that's now impossible, I think. Well, it looks like no one is waiting for an interview, which I mean, completely understand after that one. Yeah. Except, do you have anything to add on this series that we haven't already spoke about?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Not much to add.
No, I really don't think there is. Yeah.
I mean, we have to say props to Karolinerna for showing up, right? And I mean, really just showing us why they're at the top, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, seeing this team, it makes sense that they are undefeated in series. They played well. And yeah, paid off. They got a 2-0 here as well, and would not surprise me if they top the league going into playoffs with a pretty strong team, it looks like. But yeah, that's gonna be it for us tonight. That was the series. Make sure to follow the stream if you don't already do so. Follow at lolaccept on Twitter, Lightside head coach, who joined me for the co-cast today.
Yeah,
Follow
for follow.
Yeah,
Right.
follow for follow, go for it. Subscribe on YouTube, banger content. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will be tuning out. If you want to see more streams from us, Lightside will be playing against Invul Esports on Thursday at 19 CET. Do tune in if you want to see that. With a 2-0 for Lightside, they will for sure get secure first spot in NLC Div 2 2023 spring regular split. So yeah, go watch that. In the meantime, have a fantastic evening, and I hope to see you on Thursday. Bye bye.
Bye, guys.